Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Dennis at Digunloye. The headlines. As flooding continues to ravage states, victims appeal for aid as they struggle to return to normal life. Fight against insurgency, Nigerian Air Force commemorates 1,000 flight hours on aircraft A29 Super to Kano. And Thailand swears in youngest Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra as leader of the country. And we begin in the Far East, where Thailand's new Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra has been sworn in as the youngest leader of the country. Frama Panyi has details.
The 37-year-old Prime Minister accepted King Maha Vajiralongkorn's official written command to form a government in a ceremony at the headquarters of a former pro-Thaksin. She came to power after a court sacked the previous premier and disbanded the main opposition party. Thailand's new Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra, daughter of billionaire ex-premier Thaksin, vowed to boost the kingdom's sluggish economy as she formally took office on Sunday. She called on all Thais to work together to help revitalize the country's economy, which has struggled to bounce back from COVID-19 pandemic.
I'm deeply committed to serving as Prime Minister to the best of my ability. Together, let's turn any challenges into opportunities, making Thailand a place where everyone can dream, create, and shape their future. Thank you.
She is the third Shinawatra to be Prime Minister, but will hope to avoid the fate of her father and aunt Yingluck, both of whom were thrown out of power in military coups. Paetongtarn heads a coalition government led by her Pheu Thai party, the latest incarnation of the political movement founded by her father in the early 2000s, including some pro-military groups long opposed to Thaksin. Frama Panyi, NTA News.
Sudan's health minister has declared a cholera epidemic after weeks of heavy rain in the war-torn country. Here again is Frama Panyi with details.
The minister said the declaration becomes necessary because of the weather conditions and because drinking water has been contaminated. He said the decision was taken in conjunction with authorities in the eastern state of Kassala, United Nations agencies, and experts after the discovery by the Public Health Laboratory of the cholera virus. Thousands of people have been displaced by flooding, causing an increase in sickness, including diarrhea, especially in children. For weeks, the country has seen torrential rainfall, with Kassala state badly hit. The authorities there have appealed for immediate and urgent international aid. Cholera causes severe diarrhea, vomiting and muscle cramps, and generally arises from eating or drinking food or water that is contaminated with the bacterium, according to the World Health Organization. It can cause severe dehydration, leading some cases of death within a few hours. The World Health Organization and UN agency said 307,433 cases of cholera and 2,326 deaths have been reported in 26 countries since July 28. Frama Panyi, NTA News.
And Frama Panyi reports that the 44th South Africa Development Community Summit has ended in Harare, Zimbabwe. Leaders deliberated on the challenges facing the continent, including mpox. Executive Secretary of the community, Elias Magusi, said an emergency meeting of health ministers would be convened to facilitate a coordinated response to the disease, which has spread to more than a dozen African countries.
Amicably come to a conclusion where the SADC were all agreed on the issues and challenges facing our region. Meanwhile, we pay special tribute to the sacrifice and contribution of the SADC forces in the now closed SADC mission in Mozambique. Sabine.
Sabine directed the Secretariat to convene an urgent meeting of Ministers of Health to assess the impact of mpox and facilitate coordinated regional response to control the spread of the disease.
A total of 18,737 suspected or confirmed cases of mpox were reported in Africa since the beginning of the year, including 1,200 cases in 1 week alone, the African Union Health Agency said on Saturday. The figure accounts for 3 strains of the virus, one of which is the new, more deadly and more transmissible clade 1b, which prompted the World Health Organization to declare an international health emergency, the agency's highest alert.
The emergency committee met and advised me that, in its view, the situation constitutes a public health emergency of international concern.
To date, 3,101 confirmed and 15,636 suspected cases have been reported from 12 African Union member states, resulting in 541 deaths, a fatality rate of 2.89%, the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (SADC) said in a statement. The first cases of mpox outside of Africa were recorded in Sweden and Pakistan. The WHO will soon publish its first recommendations by its emergency committee, along with non-governmental organizations, has also called for the ramping up of vaccine production. Mpox is a viral disease that can spread from animals to humans, but also human to human through sexual or close physical contact. Symptoms include fever, muscular aches, and large boil-like skin lesions. The clade 1b causes skin eruptions all over the body, whereas previous variants caused localized lesions around the mouth, face, or genitals. The disease, formerly known as monkeypox, was first detected in humans in the DRC in 1970, with deadlier clade 1 most endemic. Frama Paini, NTA News.
Elsewhere, authorities in Zambia are putting measures in place to check the importation of substandard medicines. This is coming after the UN Office on Drugs and Crime issued an alert that falsified and substandard medicines could be claiming up to 500,000 lives every year.
Official statistics are difficult to compile because of the illegal nature of the trade, but authorities acknowledge counterfeit medicines are big business here in Zimbabwe.
If you look at the activities that is happening on the social media and what we have observed during some of our enforcement activities, we have noted that yes, we do have a proliferation of falsified and false standard medicines.
And this could be compromising the health and endangering the lives of countless patients.
What happens is that when someone takes these counterfeit medications, the symptoms that they came with, they don't go away. So, for example, one comes with diarrhea, vomiting, then they take these counterfeit medications. It doesn't go away, it only gets worse.
Due to their low cost and ability to fill the gap left by low manufacturing capacity, counterfeit medications continue to find a market in Africa.
According to studies, they say more than 90% statistics, more than 90% of drugs that we are using or medications we are using in Africa, we are importing. Because we are importing these drugs, they are likely to be even more expensive. So being expensive, again, these people, they take advantage of it. They bring in these counterfeit drugs as cheaper alternatives.
According to health practitioners, the most widely available fake medications are antibiotics and painkillers. Authorities have conducted raids to confiscate and destroy the counterfeit drugs, but they've not been able to cut off the supply lines. That's because traders have become more sophisticated.
They do not have physical premises, so whenever we carry out our enforcement activities, you will not be able to locate them. Most of them are active on social media where they advertise and sell their medicines.
The regulator has called for cooperation among states to tighten border controls in order to stem cross-border movement and at the same time to increase public awareness about the dangers of using unregistered and substandard medication.
In other news, the Nigerian Air Force has achieved a significant milestone with its pilots logging 10,000 flight hours on the A29 Super Tucano aircraft fleet designed and built for missions in Nigeria. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, during the celebration in Kainji, New Busa, Niger State, says the comprehensive documentation on the activities of the aircraft will allow timely interventions of its operations before evolving into safety hazards. Kabir Abdullahi reports.
Inducted in August 2021, the A-29 Super Tucano fleet has involved in several decisive missions, flying in various operational theaters across the country. More than 8,500 hours flights on fleets were dedicated against terrorists, bandits, and other violent and non-state actors threatening national peace without mishap, a feat described by the Chief of Air Staff as remarkable.
This milestone represents the culmination of years of dedication, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to our mission of ensuring the integrity of the airspace by gaining and maintaining control of the air while retaining a credible capacity to fulfill other air power tasks as demanded by national security and defense imperatives. In line with my command philosophy, the Nigerian Air Force has intensified its efforts in various internal security operations across the nation to fight terrorism, insurgency, banditry, oil theft, and other criminal activities.
While commending the resilient spirit of unit commander of the crew for embracing the dynamics in the security, the forum was also used to appreciate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his unwavering support. In New Busa, Kabir Abdullahi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, protecting the territorial integrity of Nigeria and promoting peaceful coexistence through responsible use of the social media platforms as credible voices of truth dominated discussions at the Nigerian Army 35th Social Media Seminar held in Minna, the Niger State capital. The seminar, which was at the instance of the Department of Civil Military Affairs of the Nigerian Army, was to bring to the fore the impact of social media on national development. Husseina Musa reports.
The growing concern on the implication of widespread of fake news and other controversial content on the social media platform has the potential to either undermine or strengthen collective efforts towards a peaceful and united Nigeria. This 35th edition of the Nigerian Army Social Media Seminar, with the theme Harnessing Social Media for National Security and Development, therefore seeks to inculcate in the youth responsible use of platforms while also keeping them abreast of the non-kinetic efforts of the Nigerian Army.
The seminar
For the Department of Civil Military Affairs, Nigerian Army, this engagement is expected to foster mutual trust and cooperation for a more secure, peaceful and harmonious society.
As patriotic citizens and stakeholders, we must use the power of the social media responsibly so that, as our national anthem stated, build a nation where in brotherhood we shall stand.
As social media ambassador, your role is not just important, it is cardinal to the security of our sovereignty states. You are at the front line in countering misinformation.
Whatever you give as information about your nation is a direct representation of what people will perceive us to be outside this border.
The best use of hashtags, the best use of collaborations with people in the society is what is going to improve the security level in the society.
The event, which presents a vital opportunity for exchange of ideas, also underscores the criticality of social media for the promotion of national security. In Minna, Husseina Musa, NTA News.
We'll take a short break. More reports in a moment. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Now, there has been anxiety and uncertainty among farmers concerning the 2024 rainy season. While some of them are complaining about a sudden cessation of rain, others are facing heavy rain and floods destroying their farmlands. In this report, Musa Baba Aliu takes a look at the situation in the northern part of the country.
The 2024 rainy season commenced a little late this year, as earlier predicted by meteorologists. The season began in March in the southern parts of the country and in May in the northern region. Farmers took advantage of the weather and planted early as advised. While the farmers were enjoying the weather, hoping to have a good yield at the end of the season, suddenly the rain ceased in some states in the north central, northeast, part of northwest and southwest. The development has created anxiety and state of confusion among farming communities in the affected states. However, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency said what is being experienced is not drought, but a dry spell. The dry spell is expected to last for at least 2 to 4 weeks. In Bidda, Niger State, North Central, Muslims led by the Etsunupe seek God's intervention to send down the rain.
And offer general prayers to Almighty Allah. May Allah accept our prayers and grant us very good rain, then that will be very beneficial to us, and that will make us achieve our good security, and also pray Almighty Allah to guide our leaders right.
This is coming as other parts of the country are experiencing flooding as a result of heavy rainfall in the month of August. The National Emergency Management Agency said 27 states have been impacted by the flood. It said 227,494 persons have been affected and 32,837 houses damaged, as well as 16,488 hectares of farmlands with crops are also damaged. The end of the season is expected to begin on October 6. It is also anticipated to end around the south-south in the month of December. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
In the meantime, victims of the recent floods, which ravaged many communities across 12 local government areas of Jigawa State, have appealed to relevant authorities to come to their aid as they struggle to return to normal life. Awal Mohammed Kazaure, who visited Kiyawa, one of the affected local government areas, reports that the floods, which destroyed many houses and thousands of farmlands, have forced the victims to take refuge in schools and IDP camps in different parts of the state.
People of Kiyawa are among the more than 3,000 people displaced by the devastating flood across about 12 local government areas of Jigawa State. Muhammad Ibrahim and his family, who now live in IDP camp, said for the last 20 years they had been living in the area peacefully, but this time all their belongings had been lost to the flood. He and other victims have to bear the inconveniences attached to living in IDP camp, separated from their immediate families.
We are receiving support from the government, but it is still not enough. As you can see, there are a lot of people here. We have never witnessed this kind of flood in this town. This is an act of God. We are still suffering from the impact of this flood, and we don't know what to do. We are appealing to both federal and state governments to come to our aid. We need proper drainage systems in our towns.
State Emergency Management Agency has already responded to the plight of the victims, but it said that it's not enough, appealing to the federal government and other well-meaning Nigerians to support the victims.
When disaster comes, all hands must be on deck to support the government effort. It is pertinent that we should start soliciting for urgent humanitarian support to assist the internally displaced persons with either food or non-food items to be able to support the victims during the trying time.
Provision of food, drug and mosquito nets is essential to support Muhammad Ibrahim and his likes, who now live in IDP camps, to avoid any outbreak of diseases. In Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
And Governor Dauda Lawal has commiserated with victims of flooding in Gumi local government area of Zamfara State. In a statement from his spokesperson, Suleiman Bala Idris, the governor expressed deep concern and sympathy for the victims. The heavy rainfall caused flooding in areas, submerging scores of houses. Governor Dauda Lawal immediately sent a delegation from the state government to the local governments to assess the situation and provide immediate relief to the victims. She assures of government's commitments to taking all necessary measures to prevent future occurrences. National Youth Service Corps has expelled 54 corps members illegally mobilized by the University of Calabar for national service. Director General NYSC Brigadier General Yushau Ahmed stated this while briefing newsmen in his office in Abuja. Olainka Ojo reports.
For some time now, the NYSC has been faced with the challenge of some corps-producing institutions giving approval to unqualified graduates to participate in the mandatory one-year national call to service.
Remain vigilant and proactive in our approach.
But this time around, it is Vice Chancellor, University of Calabar, taking the bull by the horn, reporting suspected cases of illegal mobilization of unqualified graduates from the institution to the NYSC.
So all this lies on the integrity of the institutions and the Vice Chancellor's concern. You understand? That's why I said we must all give applause to the Vice Chancellor of University of Calabar.
While noting that the affected corps members will be prosecuted, the NYSC Director General says 19 other individuals who attempted to register online for mobilization were prevented from doing so.
We have blocked them in our system. Their names will be published as well, so that everybody will see them. There are 19 of them. So we have 54 serving corps members in various states. These 54 we have communicated to all our state coordinators. They too, they have already been demobilized.
This is coming after the NYSC invalidated 101 certificates of national service earlier, bringing the total number of affected certificates to 178. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
The need for state health commissioners to be more committed to reducing child and maternal mortality rates in states by improving their health systems resonated at a dialogue between the Special Advisor to the President on Health, Dr. Salma Anas, and female state commissioners for health in Abuja. Issues posing threats to women, children, and female health workers topped discussions. Women's reproductive health, child mortality and morbidity, low funding, and access to maternal care, as well as the need to impact the lives of female health workers in communities are among the issues of concern.
We identify challenges and opportunities. We explore solutions and collaborations. How do we make meaningful collaborations? And as I said, we have mentors. We look at what other women have done successfully because we have them in Nigeria. And then how do we really see that you leave a legacy as a woman commissioner in your state so that when anybody that passed, before they appoint a man there, they will think twice because of what you have done. And that's why we are here.
The commissioners were advised to take direct responsibility by engaging the media, civil societies, other health personnel, and task forces in developing primary and secondary healthcare systems at the state levels, as well as improving the lives of health workers in the state through insurance policies.
Function that they are able to do primary health care under one roof. You need to ensure that you have enough staffing, training and retraining of staff, and that the centers themselves can attract people.
The outcome of the meeting is expected to bring about improved programming and budgetary allocation, increased alignment and census on building reproductive, maternal, neonatal and child adolescent health. Let's get now the weather update for Monday in Nigeria and other world cities. And this is where we conclude the news on NTA International at this time. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Digunloyi.